So for these square records, what I sometimes do is I consult my old Word doc, the brain dump doc, and I do it because I'm looking for ideas, things to talk about. I've got like an ongoing list of things that I think of between recordings that I want to discuss, and then other times I'm like scraping the bottle of the bottom of the barrel, so I got to go back to the old Word doc, and I came across this tweet that I tweeted out about a year ago, and the tweet was calling your calling your girlfriend the wet clam who makes me breakfast is less offensive than calling her your adventure buddy. Which, if I'm going to critique the tweet, uh, the wet clam who makes me breakfast, wet clam, I think you could punch that up a little bit. You could say calling your girlfriend the stinky clam who makes me breakfast is less offensive than calling her your adventure buddy. Because wet clam, yeah, this is just I'm wading through the quagmire of the male gaze here. Wet clam. If there's a clam in front of you, you want it to be wet. Chris Isaac, the famous pop singer, I think he doesn't understand that sometimes a pussy can be dry. He's just never encountered a non-wet pussy. So again, I had my Chris Isaac goggles on there when I wrote that. The wet clam who makes me breakfast. It would make more sense if it was the stinky clam who makes me breakfast is less offensive than calling your girlfriend your adventure buddy. So anyway, that's a long way around to let you know that today I'm going to be talking about the term adventure buddy. And let's get this out there. Let's table this. I'm all for couples who love adventure. I think it's cute. I think it says something about each of your personalities. You're vibrant, you're full of life. You've come together and kind of like you're vibing off each other, yeah? Like two fucking pill heads at a rave, and you're going on adventures together. That's fucking great. Tell you what though, you got to be careful how you package that adventure loving uh that adventure loving union on the internet, because yeah, it's difficult to swallow from a distance when you see couples calling each other things like adventure buddies, and you know who they are. They're the type of couples who will go to like flash mobs, or they'll host like murder mystery parties. Which I guess a murder mystery party would be good if you were like 14, like just on the cusp of being able to drink, and having a couple beers is way more fun than sitting around trying to figure out who stabbed Maud in the dining room. But just before, when you've kind of got, you want something kind of novel, but you haven't discovered drugs or alcohol yet. So yeah, age 13, 14, murder mystery party. Or you're out the other side, you're approaching 60, then murder mystery parties become fun again because you've caned the beers for 40 years at that point. Your liver needs a break and you need to do something because you can't watch sport all the time or just get red in the face watching Fox News. So yeah, you could do murder mystery parties then, but then there are some people, the adventure loving couples, who do the murder mystery parties when they're like 28. And you're like, and they get dressed up for it, and you're like, what is fucking wrong with you? Another crazy, wacky adventure. Or another thing that they would do is they will do those silent discos. Have you ever seen those fuckheads dancing in public? I can understand at a music festival growing up at the big day out, it was always a bunch of cunts who are high as fuck would go into the silent disco tent and have a groove. But that was almost like pre-cell phone era, so there wasn't too much photographic or I guess video evidence. But now you'll just see some loopy fuckheads dancing around to silent discos and CBDs across the globe, and it's a certain type of couple who are just all for fun. It's all about the fun, Got to keep things interesting. Whereas I think anyone who's in a real relationship will understand these people who are pursuing fun and adventure and oh, we're just best mates and we just get up to all sorts. It's like, guys, you're avoiding the inevitable. A relationship, a meaningful relationship, is about scarring one another. You scar one another with the with your defective personalities, and you create a codependent groove, and you have certain rituals, things that you can kind of you go towards each other for comfort. You also lash out at each other, and you kind of need to go through this almost this like initiation period with someone you're in deep with, you going steady with, baby, with Fonzie at the milk bar. Hey, I'm going steady with my wet clam over there. Oh, yeah. Once you kind of establish that relationship, then it's deeper. You're not really adventure buddies anymore because you've I don't know, you still have fun, you still do stuff, but it's more a case of like, I don't know, like being in a relationship with someone you've been to war with, when you've kind of shown them the deepest parts of yourself, and vice versa. They've done the same for you. You become like, I don't know, you've been in the shit in Vietnam, or you had to kind of like, it's like, dude, I'm not going to a silent disco with you. I had to amputate your fucking leg in Afghanistan because of that fucking landmine we drove over. And you complained all the way back to the fucking medical facility. Yeah, whiny bitch. Yeah, so anyway, I think that's the issue with the adventure buddy term, or those couples in general, is that other couples on the internet are like, these people aren't for real. I bet they're fucking, but it's not like real deep. You're gonna cry about this with a with an orchestral score playing in your head one day because of how deep we are, man. Yeah. So I think that that's how I feel about that. Is that if you can do this stuff in private and keep it off the internet, fantastic. Because I can continue living with the illusion that my relationships are normal because I'm not seeing anyone just being super positive and happy. You know that feeling you get when a celebrity couple you think have got it all figured out, and then a couple years later they break up, and you're like, "See, I knew it. All the PDA, all that stuff, it was fake." When in reality, it could have been perfectly real. They could have been madly, deeply in love, and then life comes along and changes you, and you fall out of love, and you've shared a beautiful amount of time, and then you drift apart, and you still have deep, tender feelings for each other, and it doesn't invalidate all the fun PDA, the whimsical stuff that you did in the early days. I don't believe that. All that stuff I just said, not true. You're just like, nah, it's all fake, because you like to think that relationships are all dark and deep and whoa, mind melding, soul swapping shit. I've no idea what I'm trying to say here. This is perhaps my most manic little episode to date. But anyway, yeah, I think looking at these couples, these adventure buddies, and being like, wow, we're so wacky. We're doing whitewater rafting and wearing bright colors. It's like, come on, bro. I had to emotionally amputate my wife's fucking leg because of our time in Vietnam, aka living with each other from 2019 to 21, the COVID years. That was that was our Vietnam. So anyway, if you are one of these adventure buddies, let me know. What am I missing here? Have I gotten everything wrong?